Good evening and welcome to another episode of Service to Humanity, where we bring you updates on activities of the Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development. Consistent with yearly practice, the Ministry brought together NSIP focal persons from the 36 states of the Federation and the FCT to review the National Social Investment Program of the federal government. It was a time to review, plan and propose ways to improve the implementation of this national program that is making a huge impact in the lives of youth, women and children in Nigeria. We will bring you a report of how this meeting went in this episode of the program. We shall also continue with a review of major highlights in 2021 for the ministry, this time focusing on major happenings along the National Social Investment Program. Please stay tuned for the full package after the break.
The Empower program is key to helping young Nigerians acquire and develop.
The federal government of Nigeria remains committed to including and protecting persons with disabilities to guarantee that no one is left behind.
I say that we are going through challenging times, and I say this woman running all about the country trying to help our people, because this lady is doing a very good job for our country.
Thank you.
Thank you for all what you have been doing for us.
The program starts with the Management Diary, where we bring you news and current happenings in the ministry and her agencies.
The quest for mainstreaming and inclusiveness for persons with disability has received a boost with the formal launch of the Nigeria Police Force Special Desk for Persons with Disability in all Nigeria Police Commands and formations across the country. The special desk, which was launched by the Inspector General of Police IGP Usman Baba, is aimed at availing persons with disability unfettered access to police services, promote the dignity of their person, discourage stigmatization and stereotyping, and give full effect to the Discrimination Against Persons with Disability Prohibition Act 2018. Speaking during the event, the Executive Secretary of National Center for Persons with Disability NCPWD, Mr. James Lalu, said, "The special desk will go a long way to protect the rights of their members, especially those in the rural areas who have suffered various forms of abuse because of their disability." Lalu pledged the continuous support of people with disability to the Nigerian police. On his part, the IGP, who maintained that persons with disability must be treated with respect and dignity, expressed his confidence that the initiative would, amongst other benefits, help in bridging existing gap between the Nigeria police and the persons with disability. The IGP also announced the setting up of a focal center to be domiciled at the Force Public Relations Department, Force Headquarters Abuja, and the National Center for Persons with Disability NCPWD to coordinate the activities of the desk offices, identify and provide training needs to police personnel who will serve as the Disability Desk Officers DDO to enable the police achieve the stated objectives of alleviating the numerous challenges faced by persons with disability in the country, especially as related to police services. In her keynote address, the Honorable Minister, Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Hajia Sadia Umar Farouk, who was represented by the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry, Noura Al-Ali, reiterated the Ministry's commitment to the welfare of persons with disabilities. She used the platform to urge the Nigeria Police to inculcate the disability curriculum into the Police Institute scheme so as to have inclusivity and visibility of PWDs in societal affairs. National Coordinator of the National Social Investment Programs, Engineer Umar Binder, has said that NSIP is moving surely towards achieving the objectives behind its creation and lifting Nigerians out of poverty. Binder gave this assurance while responding to questions from journalists during the annual review meeting of the NSIP, which held in Abuja recently. Binder said all states are on board with the implementation of the various programs, just as various degrees of success is being recorded.
We are feeding an average of 10 million children nationwide. By the end of 2021, there were only two states that were not onboarded, Kwara and Bayelsa. But I'm happy to report that even those two states are now aligned, so we are nationwide. And then certainly the JIP, which is the Government Enterprise and Empowerment Program, with the softest loans that you know on earth, allowing women under the market money, traders under the trader money, and small-scale rural farmers under the farmer money to have access to very soft credits for performance. And you recall, Mr. President is emphasizing on expanding agriculture, and the NSIP is answering to that call. These are the composite and lifting people out of poverty in a continuous way.
While acknowledging that there are challenges in some areas, the national coordinator assured that the ministry which oversees implementation is checking the challenges to make sure the NSIP achieves its objectives.
There are areas where the aggregators for the food, they're aggregating the wrong food, and they're shortchanging the children. So many composite. Also on the N-Power, there are some young people who don't go to teach in the schools. We catch those too and exit them. There are people who are supposed to be on the N-Agro, who are supposed to be talking to farmers. They don't go to farms. So this is a social program, and it has its own associated social challenges. But the program is well prepared, is well digitized. We have our data for every single beneficiary, and we track these beneficiaries very closely.
Across the 6 geopolitical zones.
They should use this money for what it is meant for, previously to take care of their family.
In 36 states and the FCT. Over 6.4 million of Nigerians poorest of the poor in about 1.3 million households receive conditional cash transfers of 5,000 naira monthly under the Household Upliftment Program of the federal government. Their joy knows no bound.
And the government is very well because they did well for us.
Help me to do any other thing, my family.
Reducing absolute poverty, promoting shared prosperity through the Conditional Cash Transfer Initiative. The Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development in service to humanity.
You are watching Service to Humanity. The National Social Investment Program has over 12 million beneficiaries in its register of beneficiaries. It is a major tool in the actualization of President Muhammadu Buhari's vision of lifting 100 million Nigerians out of poverty. Constant review of performance towards improving the NSIP is therefore imperative to its success. In our next segment, we shall bring you a report of the annual review meeting of stakeholders as they consider the NSIP in the year 2021. Keep watching.
Given the strategic importance of the annual review meeting of the NSIP, participants, mostly state focal persons, officials from the ministry, staff of the NSIP office, amongst other stakeholders, arrived at the NAF Conference Center in Abuja in good time. The team lead for the JEEP program, one of the clusters of the NSIPs, speaks more on the desired outcome of the program.
The desired outcome is to be able to review the National Social Investment Programs over the last year, to check our performances and to check what was done right and where we need to make amends and improve upon the program. That is the desired outcome of the meeting today.
The annual strategic review meeting is designed to provide an avenue for the ministry and NSIP leadership, strategic implementation partners, represented by the state focal persons and other critical stakeholders, to take stock of the entire spectrum of activities around the effective implementation of all clusters of the NSIP nationally, with a view to drawing on the valuable lessons learned to guide future implementation. Minister of Humanitarian Affairs was represented in this year's review session by the National Coordinator of the NSIP, Engineer Umar Binder. In her opening address, delivered by Engineer Umar Binder, the minister described the NSIP as a deliberate attempt by President Muhammadu Buhari to address the social gaps, especially amongst the youth, the poor, and the vulnerable.
As key representatives and appointees of Your Excellencies in the various state governments are tasked with the onerous responsibility of overseeing the effective implementation of the NSIP in your respective states. Therefore, you, the focal persons, you hold a key role of strengthening this relationship, and I urge you all to work very hard towards building and strengthening this partnership for the overall benefit of every Nigerian.
The minister, while stressing the importance of the meeting to the smooth implementation of the National Social Investment Program, urged all stakeholders to rededicate themselves to the cause of uplifting Nigerians out of poverty. Earlier on, the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry, Nur Al-Kali, represented by the NSIP Director of Finance, Joseph Adaramoye, explained that the meeting is part of the ministry's efforts to expand the scope of its engagement with key partners and stakeholders in the implementation process.
The meeting offers us all yet another significant opportunity to reflect and exchange ideas, especially with the state focal persons, as part of our continued effort to effectively implement the Ministry Social Protection Program for maximum impact.
The main sessions of the meeting featured paper presentations by the various team leaders as well as group heads of the components, including the Rapid Response Register, Conditional Cash Transfer, Empower, JEEP, Homegrown School Feeding, Monitoring and Evaluation, ICT and Data Management, the Alternate School Program, amongst others.
So on the program proper, the program operates on 6 cardinal objectives.
Focal persons also took time to explain the challenges confronting implementation while sharing success stories. They also proffered solutions to recurring issues. Rounding off the sessions, the National Coordinator urged the focal persons to be nationalistic in their dealings when dealing with issues around the program.
As said, this is poverty. It touches people, irrespective of party or whatever. We have to bring institutions that are national in nature, no matter how painful it is. And that is our responsibility for sustainability of this. If you continue bringing whatever element to destroy that end, that's the end of it. And therefore, when you start something fresh, I can tell you with this NSIP, there are many things that have been implemented for the first time since this country has been established. And they are good.
Speaking with some of the focal persons, they all agreed that the scope has widened to reach more people, just as the impact is quite commendable.
Naturally, there is an improvement. The National Social Register has evolved. It has now increased. The poor and vulnerable households that have been identified, more have been brought into the payment role. And if you take the National Homegrown School Feeding Program, more pupils have now been brought onto the program. More schools that were not captured before are now part of the program. States that were out of these programs before are now completely into the program. Yes.
For the Empower, some of them are financially stable, they are self-sufficient, they've employed others, they've invested, they have a registered business. For the cooks, they've started small-scale businesses, buying and selling, trading, rearing. And for the JEEP, those who collected the interest-free loan have also repaid back. And for conditional cash transfer, the well-being of the beneficiaries has been tremendously enhanced. They can send their children to school, they can access health facilities, they eat nourished meal in their houses without any problem. So the impact is indeed a very, very visible impact that we can report.
The social investment program is well implemented in Niger State because we have actually impacted on the lives of the poor and the vulnerable in Niger State. For example, the homegrown school feeding, we have been able to create about 15,000 jobs. The conditional cash transfer, we have about over 81,000 beneficiaries. With JIP, it is incoming.
The program is Service to Humanity. Earlier on, we reported the annual review meeting for the National Social Investment Programs. As we continue with the program, we shall review major events along the National Social Investment Program training that happened in 2021. Highlights include launching of Empower-C, JIP 2.0, digitalization of the conditional cash transfer, and the flag off of the new addition to the NSIP bouquet, which is a mobile money agent. Please stay tuned.
The second phase of the Government Enterprise Empowerment Program JIP 2.0 was formally launched in an elaborate ceremony in Abuja on Tuesday, 24th August 2021. JIP is one of the components of the National Social Investment Programs designed to give interest-free loans to beneficiaries as trader money, market money, and farmer money. Vice President Yemi Oshibanjo, represented by the Special Advisor to the President on Political Matters, Baba Femi Ojudu, was the special guest of honor alongside other dignitaries who lauded the initiative as well as the tenacity of the Honorable Minister of Humanitarian Affairs in pursuing the objectives of the National Social Investment Programs.
The Government Enterprise and Empowerment Program is a baby of the presidency handed over to Madam Humanitarian to nurture, and I have been asked to let you know, the Honorable Minister, that you have the full backing of their excellencies and the full confidence that you are up to the task of reaching out to the majority of the poor people in our country and alleviating their condition. For many of us who live in the cities, we may not know what impact this program is having on our people. Many are in the villages whose annual income.
I'm confident that the gaps identified in the implementation of the first phase of JIP have been well documented so as to avoid the pitfalls. No doubt, as a product which touches the lives of women and youth, it will bring about renewed confidence and prepare them to make informed decisions and manage their finances effectively.
While speaking at the event, Minister of Humanitarian Affairs Sadia Umar Farouk explained that JIP 2.0 has been restructured for greater efficiency.
With Mr. President's gracious approval for expansion to provide loans and additional 1 million beneficiaries with emphasis to targeting smallholder farmers in the year 2020-2021, the JIP has been restructured and is being flagged off today as JIP 2.0. The JIP 2.0 is structured to effectively deliver soft loans and skills to a wide range of unemployed citizens, including persons living with disabilities, marginalized women, and unemployed youth, among other vulnerable groups in our society.
National Coordinator of NSIP, Engineer Umar Binder, in an interview explained some of the restructuring done to make JIP 2.0 more efficient.
In this, we are doing internal monitoring. We are also engaging independent monitors who are out of the ministry to actually go there and pursue engagement with the beneficiaries to make sure that it works.
Following the partnership between the Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, and the National Orientation Agency towards achieving the objectives of JIP, a Train the Master Trainers Workshop held in Abuja in August 2021. The objective was to train NOA representatives from all 36 states of the Federation, who will then go down to train the community mobilization officers in their respective states.
Because what they are doing now is for sustainability, because I have so many programs that have come and gone with the government that established it. But how they have created it, making it a standard, so that any government that comes in will continue with it. That will, at the long run, eradicate to some extent poverty. Yes.
Following these developments, registers were opened in all local government across the country for beneficiaries to register for the intervention.
081 055 88 150.
Another component of the National Social Investment Programs that recorded a milestone is the conditional cash transfer. Following hitches with some of the payment providers in the scheme, payment of the monthly stipend stopped briefly but recommenced in August 2021. At the ceremony held to flag off the recommencement of conditional cash payments, the minister also launched the digitalization of the payment process to beneficiaries.
With this development, beneficiaries can access or control their accounts using personal identification numbers, perform all transactions like withdrawal, bank transfers, and bill payments, etc. For now, 25% of the beneficiaries are targeted, and we will gradually extend this to all beneficiaries as far as industry constraints will allow.
Following this event, payment of the CCT commenced across the various states of the Federation and the FCT, with women expressing gratitude to the federal government for the program which has bettered their lives.
We are 20 people in number who are collecting the money. When we receive the money, we contribute 2,000 naira each. And when I receive the money, I invest some part of it in my business, buy food items, and pay school fees for my children. I thank President Babu Buhari for this gesture. May Almighty God guide and protect him.
For the Empower program, the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Sadia Umar Farouk, flagged off the registration of the Empower Batch C beneficiaries on the 11th of March 2021. While flagging off the registration, the Minister launched the application which will help in ensuring that the selection process is without bias.
The program provided an opportunity for 109,823 Empower beneficiaries to utilize the skills they acquired and savings to become business owners. In view of these life-changing experiences, President Muhammad Buhari graciously approved the expansion of the Empower program to enable onboarding of 1 million young Nigerians.
In the year 2021, under the Empower, the 3-month training of beneficiaries of the N-Creative component of Empower for the Northern Zone was also successfully completed in February 2021. Also, the N-Knowledge, which is new, also successfully completed the in-camp training for the N-Knowledge component in December 2021, where beneficiaries learn various trades that are computer-based.
We wish every one of you joining NSIP.
One of the newest additions to the National Social Investment Program is the Life Skills Entrepreneurship Development component, led by the Minister on the 20th of October 2021, during which the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs flagged off the training of youths as mobile money agents under this component. The Mobile Money Agents Initiative is designed to enhance social inclusion among the youth, poor and the vulnerable. The training is to help beneficiaries meet the requirements to become mobile money agents and to help them successfully start and manage mobile money businesses.
The Mobile Money Agents Program was introduced in 2020 to sustain the social inclusion agenda of President Muhammad Buhari's administration. It is consistent with the President's now national vision of lifting 100 million Nigerians out of poverty in the next 10 years.
Beneficiaries trained as mobile money agents will be provided with startup kits that include a point-of-sale POS machine, fingerprint scanner, chairs, tables and umbrella, as well as 20,000 Naira capital.
Like some of the focal persons said during their annual review meeting, the National Social Investment Program of government has helped better the lives of many Nigerians, especially the poor and vulnerable. And the impact is still being felt. Support government to provide social inclusion for Nigeria's most vulnerable. Until I come your way again next week, stay safe. My name is Hafsat Mustafa Hadija, saying good night and God bless Nigeria.